Hey class, I thought I'd give you some feedback on your work, especially on the norms, the operating principles. Uh, for the most part, everybody, actually for the whole part, everybody was very engaged with it, and just wanted to address some of the comments that were made and reinforce your outlook on the use of norms. Some of you commented about norms being unspoken. That's true in the absence of written norms. Certain behaviors tend to manifest themselves, but because they're unwritten, that can be the source of some contention or some conflict. And so, to actually be a norm, it's something that has to be known and embraced by everyone, which, as some of you commented, can take some work. But several of you talked about the fact that you were participating in groups where there were some acknowledged norms, and that and how empowering they can be, which it can. One of the work I do with organizations, especially some organizational health consulting, the very first thing we do is establish some team norms, some behaviors, basically what we can expect from each other. And so it does outline that behavior, and actually it makes it easier for us to point out behaviors that are not aligning with the norms. One norm that really wasn't mentioned too much, and it's really the keystone for any set of norms, is the concept of mutual accountability. So once we go to the work of establishing norms, the capstone norm is, and as a group, we will hold each other accountable to these norms. So it's a very powerful norm that kind of cements everything together, and very important. So making sure that norms are formal and spoken and acknowledged is really important. And the concept is that if you have a set of norms, it's a living document. You can drop norms, you can modify them, you can add them, and it's something that the team should revisit, especially when certain behaviors occur that don't seem to be addressed by the norms that you have. Tough to do. Several of you mentioned that, well, we're all adults, so we ought to just know how to behave. I think you'll find that that's not always true. And therein lies the power and the need for good norms. Your initial post, remember that they're due by Thursday night, even though it says Wednesday in a lot of the things. And so any post that comes after Thursday is going to be losing points, in case you wondered where some of them went. And that your replies, you're to reply to two of your folks, and usually people who take an opposite stance on some questions than you do. Makes it a lot more interesting to do that. Which means that, and I've seen a few of you do this, is that it's very important that when you disagree with something that somebody makes, a statement they make or a stand they take, please call that out. It's important. We don't always agree. You don't get extra points for agreeing with people when I'm going through this. And so it's really important, so that if we can kind of argue, if you will, with just a couple of online posts, I think that's important. Understanding the perspectives of others is how we learn in these discussions. That's the intent of it. Also, especially in your initial post, it would be very helpful to me to do two things. There's two things that I'm really interested in seeing. Demonstrating that you have read the text, and so by quoting page numbers would be a good thing. I'll be looking for that. And the other thing is that you have personal experience. For you to hypothesize about certain concepts that you see, I'm pleased that you're you're thinking about that. But in terms of your post, what really carries some weight is what the book says and what your personal experience is, not some theoretical type thing. So please, I'll be looking for both quoting from the book, give me some page numbers, and also talking about specific experience that you have. That's the real power of this thing. So I'll be interested to see, learn about your experiences in some of these things. So I guess that's about all I wanted to say about the norms. The social loafing discussion was less robust. I think the question was kind of less robust as well. So I'll look at that the next time we do this. But make sure that you have read the material. Another reason that I have pushed your initial post back from Wednesday to Thursday is to give you enough time to read the material. I hope you're enjoying the textbook. The more I spend time in it, the more I like it. It has kind of been a composite of other team textbooks and team books that I've read before. So I would have to say that you're getting a lot of the best theory and practice about teams and team building. So I guess that's about it. Keep plugging, and I guess that's it. And I'll get back at you next week.